The northern forest woke under a veil of early morning mist. It looked peaceful on the surface, but the ground told a different story. Uprooted soil, snapped young trees, and deep hoofprints led to one conclusion. The wild boars were back. Locals had reported a destructive herd tearing through the forest's edge, flattening an entire stretch of land. There was no time to waste. The team leader called us in immediately. Gear was checked, ammo loaded, scopes aligned. This wasn't just a pursuit. It was a battle of wits between man and the most cunning beast of the deep woods. We moved slowly, threading through thick undergrowth, when suddenly, rustling ahead, the team froze. Scouts radioed in. A herd of over 10 wild boars was feeding not far from our position. The leader signaled a split. One group flanked left while the others spread and began setting traps. The radio crackled. The cue. All rifles fired in unison. The opening shots were clean. A few of the leaders fell instantly, while the rest scattered into chaos. It was a solid opening, but the real hunt was only beginning. As expected, the herd retreated into the deeper forest. But the escape routes had already been calculated. Soon, one bolted toward my position. I adjusted my scope, waited for the exact second and fired. One clean shot. That's what hunting is. Reading terrain, predicting escape paths, and striking with precision. Another dark shadow dashed past. I signaled my teammate. He flanked west, intercepting perfectly. As the boar burst from the brush, he was ready. One shot, one drop. A flawless tag team execution. By midday, we switched to Plan B, releasing the hounds. They shot off like arrows, their noses low. Minutes later, frantic barking erupted to the northeast. A massive boar was cornered. I tracked its movement carefully and fired when the shot was clear. Another direct takedown. The dogs pushed deeper and cornered another hiding between branches. I steadied the scope, waited only a heartbeat, and fired. Efficient, clean, precise. Just as we began packing up, a massive boar burst from the bushes, charging straight toward the dogs. I spun, raised my rifle, and fired from just a few meters away. beast crashed down, only seconds from doing serious damage. The intensity of the hunt was relentless from start to finish. Every moment demanded coordination, quick reflexes, and absolute trust among the team and the dogs. We strictly followed all local hunting regulations and operated only in licensed zones. Everything shown is documented exactly as it happened, raw and unfiltered. This year, my mother's sugarcane crop was destroyed, flattened under the hooves of boars. Watching her months of labor vanish pushed me into this fight. It wasn't just about hunting anymore. It was personal. We gathered at dawn. The team donned camo, tightened boots, loaded weapons, and the dogs stood ready beside the truck. The hunt began. I positioned myself deep in the reeds, silent and still. Patience rewarded me when a large shadow stepped into view. I pulled the trigger. That first shot declared that the destruction would end here. The rest of the team executed the plan, pushing the herd along familiar escape trails where shooters waited in ambush. Boars tried to sprint uphill, across fields, and through brush, but every move was met with trained patience and precise rifle fire. Each successful shot meant one less threat to crops, livelihoods, and families. As the sun climbed high, the hunt moved to close-range pursuit. The dogs cornered strong, desperate boars. Each takedown required steel nerves. One mistake could get a teammate or dog injured. The evening drive swept the remaining forest, culminating in a final shot that dropped the last target. 4 clean strikes, ending a long and exhausting day of protection and teamwork. People often misunderstand this work, imagining it as sport. But when you look into the eyes of a farmer who has lost everything overnight, you understand. This is not about glory. It is about defending land, crops, and survival. Wild boars reproduce rapidly, adapt quickly, and return relentlessly. On this land, hunting is not simply hunting, it's defense. It is restoring balance. It is protecting home. And so, when tomorrow dawns and the wind carries the scent of the wild again, we will return, because the land calls and we have answered.